Hi, welcome to Beck's Quest, and thank you for joining me for week 9 wrap up. How was week 9? What did we accomplish? Did we accomplish anything? Did we accomplish nothing? That's a good question. So, week 9, I have my notes here, so I'm going to look down every now and then, but week 9 was a very weird week. I accomplished many things. None of them were in regards to training. Why? I don't know if you realize it, but we've been having really torrential rains in Europe, probably all over, because there's been a lot of flooding and all kinds of issues going on all over the world. I have friends that have been in devastating situations in the United States, in Texas. Know that there's been some flooding and other things all over Europe. Spain and Paris got hit hard a few weeks back with flooding in especially main cities. So it's been raining a lot here, and for some reason it hasn't stopped. So it's been a bit crazy. And I don't know about you, but when it's pouring torrential rain outside non-stop, you can't really get me to go out of the apartment. It's just really, really difficult. A lot of the stations were flooded, a lot of streetcars and things were shut down, so it was really hard to get anywhere. So instead of going to the gym and training this week, what I did was home improvement. So I've had on my docket for some time, and in my production closet, a collection of home improvement things like tiles and wallpaper and paint. So this week I decided to finally tackle the kitchen. I've been meaning to do a backsplash in our kitchen for some time, because when we cook, a lot of times, and clean, in regards to washing dishes and cooking, the splatter from the food and the splatter from cleaning, because I'm not a gentle cleaner, gets all over the wall, and the wall is just a painted wall, and you can technically kind of clean it or wash it, but it was not looking so fresh. And what I really wanted was backsplash, and I researched a lot of different options like solid stainless steel backings or mirrors or glass tiles. And so what I settled on was a product that combined easy to clean, water resistant, and heat resistance. That was the main goal, because of course the backsplash needs to be behind the oven, the stovetop, right? And then I also need the backsplash behind the sink where the water splashes up. And I've got 2 different sides where my oven and my sink are. So what I found is this lovely marble-like tile that's actually made from vinyl that is washable and waterproof with stainless steel insets, because our kitchen has a lot of stainless steel in it, and I wanted to bring in that stainless steel element with just in a nice light touch instead of having it overwhelming, right? Because we did order a large stainless steel backing for the backsplash part of the stovetop. However, it was too large by a few centimeters, and our kitchen is not even, so it's really difficult to cut solid stainless steel. It's easier to cut aluminum, but it's not when it's stainless steel. So we sent that back and ordered these tiles as an option, and they'd been sitting there, and with the weather being so dreary outside as it is right now, you can't see it, but it's gray and it's going to rain again. However, we have had a reprise lately here and there, but it's still raining. So I used the time to do my kitchen. I will insert a fun little time lapse of me doing the backsplash on the sink side of our kitchen, so that you can see the process and the fun overall effect that it added to our kitchen. Then after that, of course, I will add a video so you can see the final look of the kitchen once the backsplash has gone up, so you get that fun little before and after of DIY, because I told you I have a DIY hobby interest in myself, so I'm a crazy DIYer. What else? Also for week 9, even though I couldn't train, I could control my diet. So I also cooked. I did one of my favorite things that I generally do every other week, at least once a month, but sometimes twice a month. I'll do a huge boiling of a chicken. I'll take a whole chicken or two, depends on the size of the chickens, and I will boil them down and cut up some soup vegetables and create chicken soup basically. And when I'm doing that, what I'll do is I have what I call a refuge pot. And it's the ends that you don't eat, or the parts of the vegetables and parts of the chicken that I personally don't eat, but you get a lot of good nutrients and things out of them. So I have a refuge pot. So anything that I'm not going to eat in the soup, I put in this pot with water and salt, and I boil it down with the insides of the chicken and the blood. I know that sounds disgusting, but it's good for you. And I let that boil with the refuge of the vegetable leftovers, ends and stuff. And sometimes I freeze those parts in the freezer of what I don't use, like peelings of carrots or the ends of vegetables that I don't normally eat but are still good. And those go in the pot with water and salt, and I boil that. And then the other pot is the whole chicken with the cut up pieces of vegetable in the pot, and I let that boil. And I boil the chicken by itself for about an hour and a half, depending on how big the chicken is. Then I pull the whole chicken out, let it cool to a certain point where I can physically touch it. And then I open up the refuge pot and I separate the meat and the bones and skin and all the extra things. And the bones go into the refuge pot. So I let that boil forever, like 6 hours or more, sometimes overnight, because I want the bone broth. I want everything boiled out of the chicken from that. So I put that in the refuge pot and all those bits and let that continue to boil. I add water every now and then to bring it back up to a level where it's safe. And then I separate my chicken. So most of my chicken breast will go into a bowl for chicken salad and other good parts of the chicken. And the other bits I put back into the soup pot. So then I have a huge thing of chicken soup. Sometimes I separate the actual stock from the soup, but we'll set that aside. And then I make my chicken salad. And so of course I did a time lapse of me doing my crazy cooking for week 9 as well, for chicken salad and chicken soup. I even made tzatziki while I was doing it. Since I was cutting up vegetables anyway, I thought it would be good to go ahead and show the process in a fun time lapse. And it doesn't seem like it takes so long when you chop it up and do it on time lapse, but my goodness, it is hours of work. And I can generally find once a week to do some meal prep and such. And so I had my chicken salad, my chicken soup, and once the stock boiled forever for that refuge pot, then I transferred just the liquid back into the soup pot and discard the bone and those ends and stuff that no one is going to eat. And then I have a really hearty chicken stock with the chicken soup. And sometimes I'll do extra jars just of the stock so I can just drink that or use it when I'm baking or creating things. And then I also have my little chicken soups with chicken and vegetable in it. And if I feel that I need a bit more, then I'll cook some rice ahead of time and let it refrigerate to lower the starch, the resistance. It's a resistant starch rice by cooling it and before serving it again. So I always generally have some rice in the fridge that I've prepared because I cook a bunch at once. And so then I'll just do like a scoop of rice. I always measure it 100 to 200 grams of rice and then a big thing of chicken soup, and it's just lovely and comforting. And of course then I have my cold chicken salad, which is great during summer, that I could eat by itself or with some gluten-free bread. I'll like open-faced sandwich, enjoy it for like a breakfast or a lunch or even for dinner if I don't feel like I want to eat something heavy. So it just depends on my mood when I will eat it. But what's great is I control everything that goes in it. I put the recipe in MyFitnessPal where I can follow my own macros and like keep a perfect record of what I'm having. So it's great. I know what I'm eating, how much, and what's in it. So that's the great thing about eating at home. Because remember, we were talking about it's very hard to keep ahead of eating outside the house and tracking those macros. But when you cook all of these things and you have it ready and it's right there where you can just grab it and go, basically it makes it so much easier not to cheat on your diet or eat something that you shouldn't. Because what is our main goal? Not to eat like an asshole. That's right. So yeah, week 9 was a bit dreary and rainy and a bit depressing, quite frankly, and it was hard to move and motivate myself. However, I got to do fun projects instead by renovating something in my home. I still have other home projects that I have planned in the next weeks before my job starts again in September for my major projects and stuff. September is when the start of the art season in opera and musical theater really start up again. Dance, all the arts start up again in September through May, June. So our busiest time, of course, is from September till June, and then generally summers are pretty open and lax. Unfortunately, when you're writing projects or trying to write venues and such for your work, nobody's in the office, especially not in Europe, right? It's very, very difficult to get anything done. But occasionally, like when I'm renting studios, like the studio rentals for like rehearsals and courses and such are open, thankfully, but to write, but not to take. Like none of the courses I like to take during the summer are open generally. There's some workshops. But yeah, so the ball will start rolling again in the busy season in September, but like July, August are pretty lax. So while we're enjoying the summer and we go into these months, or while we're in these months, right, there's a lot of other things I am able to accomplish. So I really appreciate the time to work on my home, to work on myself, to work on things that I otherwise would be neglecting because I'm so busy in a different area. So there's less stress and it's a much more relaxed pace. So I really do appreciate even the rainy days here during the summer, even though it wouldn't hurt to get some sun and I wouldn't say a tan because that's just not going to happen. I'm pigmentally challenged. So yeah, that's basically it for week 9. It's a short one, but still felt like I accomplished some good things for myself, and everybody reaps the benefits of these projects because I know my partner and his friends also enjoy the fruits of my labor when it comes to eating chicken salad and soup. And I always make way too much chicken soup, so you know who you are when I give you chicken soup because I've just made so much. And of course, my dear friends are always invited over to come have a meal and enjoy some chicken soup or chicken salad or whatever else I'm cooking. There's definitely going to be a taco night and a fajita night coming up. So lots of good things happening. That's basically it. Thanks for joining me. If you liked the video, make sure you let me know by giving me a thumbs up and clicking that like button down below. Also, I'd love it if you'd leave a comment and let me know how you're enjoying the videos, the series. Or if you're not, my goodness, I am open to constructive criticism. So please feel free to give me notes, or if there's something that you just would like to know or would like to see, please make sure that you let me know down below in the comments. So other than that, thanks for joining me, and hopefully see you in week 10 for Beck's Quest. All right, bye.